Good evening. Tonight we are joined on our latest country catch-up episode by Tom Clissold. So thank you for joining us, Tom. It's great to see you. And
Absolutely, my pleasure, man.
you've been over on our Instagram account today. So thank you so much for taking that over and posting a few bits on there. But it's fair to say you're a bit of an expert when it comes to live streams, aren't you?
I've been coming up to a year now. It's the lockdown's yearly birthday today. I'm led to believe. So I think I started doing my live stream 2 weeks, 3 weeks after lockdown first hit, and I've done them every week since. So it's coming up to the Godless Country live stream birthday as well.
Now, you've had a live stream that lasted for 6 hours.
I did, yes.
How do you pick the set list for something like that?
I don't. I've got a list in a book, and I just pick them as I go along. Really, don't ask me how I remember which ones I've played, because I honestly have no idea. But to my knowledge, I haven't really repeated anything. But yeah, they average at about 5 hours at the moment.
And do you just kind of find yourself just not wanting to stop? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I just enjoy myself, man. Like once I get into the swing of it, because I have a few drinks as I'm doing it. It started off as just a way to hang out with my mates and have a jam. Basically, I'll play a few tunes and people can dip in and out. And in the midst of the first lockdown, it really did take off quite a lot. It was getting like quite a lot of views on it. Obviously now everyone's back to work and things are getting a bit more normal. It's not quite the numbers that we used to be hitting, but I still absolutely loving it. I'm still not working. I got made redundant because of the COVID. So it's what keeps me knowing the days of the week. I know when it's Friday because I have the live stream. And Friday's still party day. The live stream is just like a party.
So does it kind of add a bit of normality then to your week, knowing that you got to kind of prepare something for it and get yourself ready for it then?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I mean, I usually do the event on a Tuesday and start advertising that, posting it around. So I knew when Tuesday is then, and then Friday, because it's the start of the weekend, we always used to go out after work and have a few beers. So now we stay in and have a few beers, but it's as close as I could get to playing a gig. And busking as well. Busking is one thing I really, really miss doing. So I've been out a little bit, not recently because of the third lockdown, but I did bits and pieces throughout the summer last year.
Now, is there kind of a big red cross on your calendar at the point where live gigs can start again?
Yes, I've had some bookings coming in. So, yeah, totally really looking forward to that, man. Really looking forward to that. Especially Dark Hollow Festival shouted me up and asked if I wanted to play. I've got it written down. 3rd to 5th of September in the south of England. And the idea of actually playing outside on an outside stage to people in a field again, it's like, oh, man, I can't wait. I absolutely can't wait for that.
Now, what do you think it's going to be like standing back on a stage again for the first time in what will it be over a year?
Oh man, it's going to be like, oh, I'm back. Here we are. We're doing what we do. It's just outside again, or like in a venue again, rather than being. This is the corner of my girlfriend's bedroom. Like this is like my little corner where I just store all of my shit. So,
is she going to make you take that down? Do you think as soon as you go back outside again?
No, this all stays up permanent. I've got my guitar stashed in the corner back there, keeping it as tidy as I can. But anyone that plays guitar know that like hard cases take up a lot of room, more than the actual instruments. So what do you do with them? You make a corner.
Okay. Now you're going to play a few songs for us tonight. So would you like to play your first song now? If you tell us a bit about it.
It's incredibly new, so I haven't even got a title for this yet. But since I've got the banjo out, I thought I'd give it a go. I finished it about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago maybe. So this will be on an upcoming record, which I am going to start recording in the next month or so. Seasons change, the final fall on winter's winds, a curtain call. When all is lost and friends are few, recall my name, I'll think of you. You're dying so easy, then why must you breathe for a heart to beat against your will? As you beat every breath, I'll lead you closer to death. So lay down and rest, now be still. of the sky, the depth of the grave, this bit of ground keeps what it saves. Memories, the stone cold eyes, the soulless ones, the ghosts of flies. The bell in your tower has been tolling for hours, tribute to the kindness of man. You spit in my face and walk by in disgrace, am I not worthy of a God's idle hand? I'm the lone bastard son of a warrior, on one between death and unreason. I cower, I crawl, my final breath, I repay that first debt. In the shadow of failure, to my knees and the ground I will fall. Lone bastard son of a warrior, on one between death and unreason. I cower, I crawl, my final breath, I repay that first debt. In the shadow of failure, to my knees, then the ground I will crawl.
Thank you very much. So you say that's obviously a brand new song. How have you found songwriting then over the last few months?
To be honest, I've had a lot of time to do it, but I've been enjoying it. But like usually, I get kind of into the swing of things when I'm planning a record, and then the songs start kind of rolling out on their own. But usually, I sit in front of my computer and record them as I go and arrange them and make demos, and I've got a much better idea of the finished record version of the song by the time I come to record it, if you see what I mean. This time
Yep.
I've made a definite effort to write with no recording equipment, I'd literally record a riff on my phone or something and then go, right, let's make something of that. And arrange the whole thing in my head, which is very, very new to me because my memory isn't the best. So, but I'm happy with them. It sounds like the next level up from my last album. So we'll see how it turns out.
So talking of the last album, it came out in the middle of 2020. Obviously, a very strange time to release. How did you find releasing it?
It was definitely well, I've been furloughed. What do I do? It's like, I'll make a record. Why not? And I did it in about 4 days, I think. So I was like, well, I thought this was going to last longer. What do I do now? Because I can't go out and gig it, So I think that's really where the live stream kind of started from. The idea of that is like, I've got to promote this thing somehow. So I'll jump on the live stream bandwagon, and I liked it on there, man. What can I say?
So do you think you'll find it a bit of a shock with the second album that it'll take you longer than 4 days to do?
I'm hoping it does. I'm going to put a lot more into it, I think, this time, really. Well, the recording process will be different because I haven't got a set idea in mind of the accompaniment instruments. I've either written the songs on the guitar or the banjo and not given much thought to anything else that's going to go. So that bit I'm really looking forward to is once I got the bass track recorded and then be like, right, now what can we, embellish this with? What can we put on top? Does this suit a banjo? Does it suit a harmonica? Do I get the bass on it? Does it need a drum? I'll let the songs figure it out and then they'll let me know, definitely.
So talking of the banjo, when did you first kind of start playing it? Because it's an instrument we don't massively see over here.
No, it's this is the very first banjo I ever got, which I paid about 60 quid for, I think. It's definitely bodged together, but it's still working. And I think I've had it maybe 3 years, 4 years. I got a banjo and a mandolin roughly at the same time. And to start with, the mandolin was a lot easier for me. I was trying to do the 3-finger kind of like... Yeah, no, I'm really not very good at the Scruggs style. And I discovered clawhammer, and it was just like, well, this makes a lot more sense for a singer-songwriter playing solo or busking with it. It's more strummy, picky rather than just arpeggios all the time. You know what I mean? Which that just gets confusing with 3 fingers and trying to sing at the same time. So I've just been picking away at it as and when. But this last year, definitely, I've picked it up a lot more. So.
What kind of reaction then have you had from people when you're playing the banjo?
The same I get when I'm playing the mandolin. When I'm busking, it's usually like with the mandolin, a lot of people are like, "What's that?" and "Why are you playing it?" And the banjo, they're just like usually like the older boys, like the older crowd, like will walk past and like double take, because especially I haven't got a hat on because I don't have hair all over my head. And I look a bit weird. I've got these great big flappy earrings and piercings and tattoos and whatnot, and you're playing a bit of like nice like folky claw hammer stuff, and then as soon as they see my face, they're just like, "Why?" It's like, well, I dig it, man. What can I say? It's a good.
Do you think that kind of gives you a bit of a unique look then compared to other artists?
I think maybe I enjoy it. I definitely do enjoy it. The reactions I get, but yeah, most of the reactions I've had are really, really good. I've never had anyone give me any abuse when I'm busking or anything like that. So, and at gigs as well, other than like friends, you know what I mean? You get the occasional friend heckle, but as long as you got a good comeback, it really doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's all good.
So with the first album, when you kind of got it done so quickly, do you have a favourite track from it?
Excuse me. I think Where the Sky Meets the Ocean really came into its own on that one. Playing it on the acoustic guitar, I dig the tune, but as soon as I put the electric guitar in the background of that is really what made it. I think it came across as something completely different, then. And I dig it. And then I adjusted how I played it on the acoustic to try and get some of the lead line in the strumming as well, if you see what I mean. So that song even evolved afterwards, after it was released, due to the fact of what I did with the electric guitar on it.
So what then stood out about The Devil's Long Lost Lamb as sort of the album title, do you think?
I don't even know where the name came from. Same as writing lyrics, things pop in and out your head, and that one it just popped in there and then it wouldn't go away. So it's like, well, yeah, I'm digging that. It's obviously I'm not a Christian. I'm not really into religion in any way, shape, or form. Hence the Godless Country live stream. Because in country music, you always get like I mean, come on, I Saw the Light, for example, absolutely classic country song, but it's all very like, I don't want to say worshipy, but obviously like they respect the Christian faith and God and that. And I was like, well, I don't want to go out my way to offend them, but I don't want to, I'd like to like come across as like, no, I don't dig that. You know what I mean? I do this. It can still be, you can still be country and not praise the light as it was. So The Devil's Long Lost Lamb was maybe like, I wasn't christened as a kid due to a car accident that my parents had. And I kind of see it like that, The Devil's Long Lost Lamb. I almost had him, but no, he's gone. You don't get a second chance, I'm afraid, big man.
So you kind of went a bit against the norm again, because so many artists release an EP with just maybe 3 or 4 tracks, whereas you kind of went straight for it with the full album.
Well, I did do an EP first, but I consider it more of kind of like a collection of like demos, which then went on. I mean, I think there were 5 songs on the EP, and 3 or 4 of them made it onto the album. So I consider that more of a kind of run-up to a release, But I was going to do an EP again this time, and I know, call me old-fashioned. I just like the idea of doing an album, When I think of a record, it's a full length. So yeah, I like just giving myself work to do, I guess.
So were there any tracks that nearly didn't make the cut that you're kind of glad you did include on there?
Never that got to a finished song. I'm going to tell part the way through if I'm not feeling it, So if it gets to like a finished song, I think I've had one finished song where I was like, you know what, no. And then I use like bits of lyrics from it in different songs, or maybe a guitar lick out of it in another song. So I try not to waste anything, Just because the whole song doesn't work out doesn't mean you can't like take like a couple of bits from it and make it useful. So, but no, I'm not really one to write like 40 songs and then try and whittle it down to 8. Because I don't know how people can like just sit there and write 40 songs and then go, right, what do I do? I'm sat there going like, bugger, I need another 2. What can we do? So,
and I guess you're in kind of being in the position where you haven't got management or record labels. You can just kind of do your own thing and your own style. Is that kind of a big thing to you?
It's a beautiful freedom, you know what I mean? I can do it in my own time scale. The worst thing is having pressure. If someone, I couldn't imagine somebody going like, right, you've got to do this record now. We've got to release it in a month, and you're like, I still need to write 4 songs. It's not the kind of thing I think can be forced. You know, that's how you end up with bad records. Like, let the songs write themselves and take them where they need to go. And you know when a song's finished, you get to the point where it's like, well, that's it now. You know. You play it different every time for the first month or so, and then you're like, right, I've settled into a groove with this one now. I know what I'm doing. Hopefully.
Okay, would you like to play a second song for us then this evening?
Yep, can do. This one is going to be off the upcoming record as well. These are all going to be new ones tonight. This one's called All That Was Said. Looking for hope in all the right places. I've known many faces, I've had many names. Comfort I found in a bottle of sorrow, soul I borrowed to be the thirst of my shame. Onwards and roam, not alone, no, I travel with the voices that weep in my head. My home and the bone and the marrow of the earth is where I'll make my bed, where the devil and I will preside over all that was said. Bars in this cell cast shadows of vengeance, paint out my banners with a price my soul. Tracks of the past are the engine of ages, rolls through the pages of a tale left untold. Onwards to Rome, not alone, no, I travel with the voices that weep in my head. Road is my home, and the bone and the marrow of the earth is where I'll make my bed, where the devil and I will preside over all that was said. Holes in these boots spared me the horror roads I had wandered, no memories remain. But don't waste your blessings on a man full of curses. Spite in the verses burns the blood in these veins. Onwards to Rome, not alone, no, I travel with the voices that weep in my head. Road is my home, and the bone and the marrow of the earth, where I'll make my bed, where the devil and I will preside over all that was said, where the devil and I will preside over all that was said.
Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
I'll let you have a quick drink. So, as you obviously now prepare for the second album, if you go back to when you were getting that first now, what kind of advice do you think you'd give yourself?
Get better microphones. Without a shadow of a doubt, just get some goddamn decent microphones. Both the EP and the album were recorded on the cheapest SM58 clone. Well, they're not clones; they're just bad copies. You know, very very cheap. But since then, I've invested a little bit in some decent mics, so that definitely makes a whole world of difference. You know,
So when it came to like,
to do.
so when it came to producing the album, did you do that all yourself then?
Yeah, I played every instrument on it, recorded it. I did all the artwork, did what some might call mixing, what I call mixing anyway. Other people will probably have a heart attack if they seen what I did to it, but you know, and I won't claim to have mastered anything because I don't really understand what it is. But yeah, I did everything that was involved in the production, the writing, the performing, the artwork, everything. I always like to try and do everything myself in this country strain of music that I do. Like
so is that something you'd had? Is that something you'd had experience in before, or did you just kind of go for it and see what happened?
I've played around with it like for quite a few years, but I'm certainly not like that. I'm not a professional at it by any stretch of the imagination, you know. But it's something I can do, and if I can do it myself, I'd just like to be left on my own to do it and figure it out, you know. It goes back to the old school reports, like does not work well with others, I suppose, but. I mean, I play in a band as well, in a heavy metal band, and that's absolutely fine. I'm quite happy to let someone else take the helm with that because after I finish playing and singing, it's like I just want to lie down, really. But with this, I'm quite happy to. I like the fact that I can do it all myself. You know, there's no one else to blame then either. So.
So, what kind of sound do you think you were going for then with the end product of the album?
I just want to make it sound like a. I don't want to take too much away from what I can do live, other than like accompanying instruments. Obviously, I can't play three things at once. Well, banjo, you know, mandolin and guitar all at the same time. But I don't want to go too over the top. I wouldn't put like strings in there because I can't play any stringed instruments. I've got a violin. I'm not very good on it, so that's not going on the record. But yeah, it's really like down to my own abilities, and I like to try and push it with every record, and obviously try and get better. But I don't. Maybe in the future I'll get some other people in and we can jam it out and see what goes on. But yeah, for this one, definitely it's going to be another definite solo effort.
So, have there been any artists that you've kind of looked to for inspiration then over the last year?
Oh, definitely. Joseph Huber from 357 String. Well, used to be in 357 String Band. Now, obviously, a very successful solo career. Has always been a big influence, songwriting and performing wise. So I actually got a cajon to sit on and play with the tambourine at the same time. When I started doing the streams, I was doing quite a bit of that. That was all down to Mr. Huber, but it's always like Hank 3 has always been a big influence. He's the one that really got me into the country music. Lonesome Wyatt from Those Poor Bastards and Lonesome Wyatt and the Holy Spooks, massive fan of that. But I mean, on my live streams, you can hear where my influences come from because obviously I don't have 6 hours worth of my own material yet. So there's a lot of covers in there. You know, Angry Johnny and the Killbillies, big fan. Anything that's like a little bit more just like the dirtier side, the grumpier side, you know, the darker side of it all. But then the classics as well. I play some like Waylon, you know, I play some Hank Senior, I play some Johnny Cash and Willie Nelson. You know, the Highwaymen as a whole, I play that as well.
So then, do you have those in mind then when you're doing your songwriting as well?
No, I don't really have much in my mind. I literally sit there absentmindedly twiddling away on the guitar, and all of a sudden something will snap me out. It's like, what did I play? And usually that'll spark onto something else, and then we can get the ball rolling. But I've never been one to be like, right, I'm going to sit down and write a song. Because you sit down and like that's the blankest my mind ever goes. My mind is a busy place most of the time, but then it shuts down completely. There's just a little red light on. Just to say it's on standby, you know.
So it sounds like you've got a lot planned for 2021. Yep. How long is the bucket list getting at the minute?
I'm just taking things as they come, you know. As I see an opportunity, I'll go for it. Some of them come off, some of them don't, but just keep it rolling down the tracks, really, you know. Just I've got a bit of momentum going now, so I'm just going to keep it going and see where I end up.
And then with the album plans going ahead, is there a rough kind of idea of when you want it to be out?
I don't want to give a date because I've been saying with the past couple of months, I'm going to start it in a week. I'm going to start it in a week. And then the idea of an EP became an album. And I was like, I'm going to start it in a couple of weeks. Now, I'm going to sit down this week and make a list of songs that I've got, see how many more I need, see if I want to play them on the banjo or the guitar. And then when I start writing them, see if that goes according to plan. So I might say I want another banjo tune, but if one doesn't come out, then there's not a lot I can do about that.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're going to play us out with one final track.
Cool. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me. This one's called Bury This Shame. It's 10 times the load, but a quarter of the pain. I bore this weight so long, my back was broke through blame. Yet here I stand, and the river calls my name. In the silt and the sand is where I found my grave. I forsake my name for a conscience far from clean, and the stainless left will soon be swept downstream. I bury this shame. Time after time I swore next time must be my last. Yeah, the smiles have crossed, but I can't forgive my past. Yet here I am, and the river calls my name. In the silt and the sand is where I found my grave. I forsake my name for a conscience far from clean, and the stainless left will soon be swept downstream. I'll bury this shame. And the river calls my name. In the silt and the sand is where I found my grave. I forsake my name for a conscience far from clean, and the stainless left will soon be swept downstream. I'll bury this shame.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening, Tom, and thank you for taking over our Instagram account today.
Absolute pleasure, my friend. Thank you very much for having me.
And we wish you luck with getting the album together and getting out soon. Let's not hope it's like the age-old "the diet starts on Monday" excuse.
It's not going to be the Guns N' Roses Chinese Democracy album, trust me, man. I'm going to get on this soon. Don't you worry about that.
No, thank you very much, and good night, everybody.
Thank you very much.